admire in the game, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, and aspire to be as great as, you know what I'm saying. So when I'm writing, those are certainly some of the influences I'm trying to hold the standard to, you know what I'm saying.
No doubt.
So yeah, I appreciate it, you know what I'm saying. I've always heard the Nas shit though, but
Yup.
I think it's just like a reference, you know what I mean, and the substance of the music, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't
Right.
think it's so much the styles, but
Right.
yeah, the substance of it is always been there, man. So I appreciate the love, man, how they repping for your boy, you know what I mean?
Prior to you establishing a brand and a legacy out here in Pittsburgh,
Right?
were you inspired by anybody in hip hop as far as someone being from Pittsburgh? Like I knew about Mailman,
Right?
but was it anybody else locally out here that
This,
inspired you? They
you
you
know
know what I
what,
mean?
man? Pittsburgh is a place that's full of talent, you know what I'm saying? And I think that for that reason, I've always been able to draw inspiration from the city. You know what I'm saying? And there's people from here that you might not have heard of that have been extreme influences on my career, man. I don't know if you're familiar with Black Seas. He
I
comes to
heard of him
mind
before.
because Seas is one of the first producers I worked with, and I worked with Seas basically on the strength of his catalog. He was one of the first people to get a deal from this city, and he actually co-produced Anything for Jay-Z.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I mean? That's what really put me on the homie, man.
Pittsburgh
So
producer.
yeah, and this is shit like you won't really know about, man. There's guys like not only Mailman but Sam Snead that went to the West Coast and really made shit
Recognized.
legendary. You know what I'm saying? So but we always had our niche in the game. You know what I'm saying? It's just becoming more of a brand, man. As
Right.
time tells the story.
Right. As far as the internet age goes,
Hmm.
um, the guys that I mentioned, to my knowledge,
Yeah.
I'm right down the road. You, S Money, Wiz, y'all kind of were like a part of a wave of um, Pittsburgh actually cracking the surface again
Absolutely.
publicly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you have to dig to find that Mailman was from here or Sam Snead was from here. Like
Ain't
people
no
actually
question.
knew where y'all was from and shit.
Yeah, I think we kind of made it revolutionary
Okay.
to want to be from Pittsburgh, to make Pittsburgh cool. You know, a lot of those artists, because of the situation in the city with just things like opportunity, a lot of those artists left the city and really, made LA their homes and made New York their homes. So we kind of like the first bunch that stayed here and actually brought a brand to the town, which is something I think we should be proud of.
Okay. Take me back to the Still City. I seen you do like somewhat of a metamorphosis.
Yeah.
When I first encountered your music on the internet, I told you it was a World Star video,
Yeah.
and the Still City video. It was hard.
Hmm.
Your music was dark.
Yeah.
You dig, and then I guess there was a progression because next thing I know, I think I seen you on. Did you do Breakfast Club
Yeah.
with the fedora?
Well,
So you going through phases and shit.
you
So
know what, man? With the fedora, I really was just trying to make a statement as to like the things that inspired me. You know what I'm saying? And that era has always been something that's been inspirational for me. So when you can look back all the way to the just look back. And most people of status like to keep a good hat on their head, man. So the fedora was just a statement that I recognize game, you know what I'm saying? And
okay,
that's how I seen the OGs doing it, you know what I mean? So I always liked fedoras and Kangos and hats that meant something to the culture, you know what I'm saying?
right. Do you have a particular sound? I compared you to some MCs
Yeah.
that who I
Uh,
felt that you had something in common with.
I think that Pittsburgh really helps mold a sound that's like a collage. You
When
know
you
what I'm
say
saying?
that,
I'm saying
when you
like,
say that, you specialize in using artists. I mean, production from out here.
absolutely. And I'm saying that to say that most musicians from Pittsburgh have a wide variety of inspiration because we the furthest city east and the nearest city west. So it's like we not quite Midwest, we not quite east, but we like right in between. And that advantage gave us the opportunity to grasp music from all cultures. So Pittsburgh might be, you know, you might hear somebody that sound like a Juvenile. You might hear somebody that sound like Scarface. I think we take inspirations from all matters of hip hop, man, and that's the beauty of the musicians here, man.
How do you think that happened technically? Because Pennsylvania is the East Coast.
Yeah.
But you said y'all situated as far west on in the state.
Yeah, and it that bridges the culture as to where we don't really, we don't necessarily identify so much as being East Coast. We kind of like that Midwest vibe, you know what I'm saying? Although we are on the East Coast, so it's a real interesting place, man. It's one of them places where it's like a melting pot.
Pittsburgh ain't with the
all
East.
Cultures, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
with the East.
Man, listen, right?
I'm listening to you.
Of course, I did some time in the state and juvenile.
Uh-huh.
Pittsburgh was embracing the Midwest and the West in music. You could say style, not as much fashion, you know.
I understand.
But
that's the thing of the city. I think that there's that culture subjugation where it's like, I grew up in this element and this is pretty much what it was. And then there's Pittsburgh, where there's art, there's the humanities, there's a widespread shit of education here. You know, Pittsburgh's a big town for things like that, man. So most people you hear that's just pretty much subjected to that trap ideal, they pretty much don't cross the other line. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They only see half of Pittsburgh or what we got to offer.
right. Do you do you make it a practice of featuring Pittsburgh artists on your projects? Who have you worked with out here?
You know what? I got an artist right over there, my homie Young TK. He fly, you know what I'm saying? He
Okay.
on his shit. I like all the artists, man. I ain't never been one of those artists to shun somebody because of my status in the game. So if you nice, we could pretty much rock. But I tell you, this has been like, it was a point in my career where, a lot of artists just wanted to work with me, man. And it comes to that point where they like, yo, we'll spend whatever, X, Y, Z, blah, blah.
Right.
And, you start taking those checks and like, damn, this ain't even something I would support. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a fiscal thing.
Right.
So it's like I had to cut that shit out. And now it's like,
That will water down a motherfucking
the money
brand.
cool, but if I don't like the song, I ain't doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck where you from.
I'm the same way about my media. If I gotta actually like what a guy doing
Ain't no
for me to fuck with it, and I won't compromise that for real.
That's what keep your shit quality, baby. You know what I mean?
No doubt. How long you been doing music overall?
I say 15 years, bro. I started out right around here, just fucking around with my homies, beating on these benches, making beats, and that shit pretty much molded into a career for me, man.
So this your neck of the woods right here.
It's my neck of the woods. That's why I brought you here.
What part of this?
You
What
in
part of the
Larimer
city?
Park.
What part of the city we in right?
Larimer Avenue, man. East side of Pittsburgh.
Oh, you a Larimer nigga? Okay.
I'm
I told you I did.
brothers,
I did
man.
some time. I did some time, my nigga. I know who you is now.
Absolutely.
All
That's
right.
where you at. So if you know anybody from those roots, that's pretty much where they banged at. You know
No
what I mean?
doubt. No doubt. Shout out to Larimer and shit. Yup. 2020, recently, you just released a new project.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about it.
Hope Dealer, man. And you know what? This is another transition in my career, man, where, we getting up there in years. And the thing is, when you talented and you really enjoy doing music, you got to figure a way to change your rhetoric a little bit, man, and still be relevant, but at the same time, deliver a message that ain't so watered down and yinned. What I mean by yinned is no other side to the coin, you know what I'm saying? So at this point with Hope Deal, I really just wanted to explain the downsides of the game, man, and the pretty much everything that comes along with what people, may perceive as success, and the struggle, man, being able to come through, persevere, still be a relevant musician in the game, how long I've been doing it, that should be an inspiration to anybody that want to do this music thing, man. So my whole thing is to stand as an inspiration to the next generation, man. As musicians, as wanting to have something to do other than whatever the streets may subject you to, man. So the Hope Dealer is basically all about perseverance, going through the struggle and enjoying it, realizing it makes you who you are, and embracing the fight, man. You know what I'm saying? That the other side of the coin is it could be good if you stay hopeful, you stay inspired, play by the rules of the game, and shit should work out for you, man. Hope Dealer
Boaz.
2020.
How did
Boaz.
how did you come up with the name? Give me some science behind the name.
Well, I'll give you some science behind the name, right? So my name is Boaz.
Shout out to the P-wing you got on.
Yeah.
I just picked up on that. Okay.
You know the time.
Yeah.
You
All
know
right.
the time.
All right.
But Boaz is my name by birth.
That's your biological
That's
name?
my biological name, and even in the community, that's like I was always Lil Bo. I never was one of those dudes that adapted a nickname. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty much bred from the community, and
Right.
I thought the name just naturally had significance, so I ain't feel no need to create no rap name or nothing.
I think
But
that's clever. People who can pull that out. Even Keith Murray. It's a few of y'all that went that route. I think it's dope.
Most certainly, and I think that if you don't know, most people don't know that Boaz is one of the names of the two pillars on Solomon's temple.
Okay.
Boaz represents strength, and it's just it's an ancient name, man. It's the name of one of the kings of our ancestry, and I'm gonna try to live up to it.
Standout songs that we can go and check for on this new project, Hope
New
Dealer.
project, standout songs.
Yeah.
My first single, From the Beginning, featuring Stevie B. That was a blazer, you know what I'm saying? It's doing very well.
I've been hearing a lot about him.
Yeah.
I gotta put that out there.
He hustling, he working, and he's one of Pittsburgh's top brands, you know what I'm saying? He's and beyond Pittsburgh, I say he's one of the best producers in the game, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, we had the opportunity to put together a mean track that's called From the Beginning, featuring Stevie B. That's one of my favorites. I got Gutter Rainbows on there featuring Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah.
That's one of the leading singles, and beyond it being a well-doing single, it's just a well-written song. The hook is very eclectic, you know what I'm saying, and eccentric, and it's one for the toters, you know what I mean? You should enjoy it, kick back, catch a vibe, man.
Right.
Gutter Rainbows, Ain't No Way. It's a short listen, man. The album only got 8 songs on it. So the whole thing, I made it short enough for you to be able to stream the whole project and get a feel for it. So the whole joint is a slapper, man, top to bottom.
Were you on a major at a point in time?
I've never been with a major. I've been on somebody who's majorly, we consider ourselves independently major at Rostrum Records.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I didn't want to be wrong. I felt that you was on Rostrum. I didn't want to be wrong.
Nah, that's a good question. I've had association with major labels as far as cutting me checks for doing work, but that's pretty much it, man. I like the indie world. I think that it allows you a little more freedom to express yourself and not be so worried about the pressures of industry standard, you know what I'm saying, as in your flow and things, because at the end of the day, man, most artists, even those who make A-list celebrity, man, you always trying to find that pocket, that groove, you know what I mean? So sometimes that might take some time and really reevaluating what you're doing in music, and I think independence is good for that. When they like you and understand your situation, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's on the musician, but if it's something that's, a business thing, I think indies is flexible. Right. And they a lot bigger than they were 10, 20 years ago. A lot of these indies is, on hundreds of millions of dollars and can be really helpful to you.
Being as though you a Larimer guy and you from over here, how did you meet the Rostrum guys? How did you meet Wiz Khalifa?
Interestingly enough, man, there's a studio in Pittsburgh. It's been, at this point, made world renowned. It's called ID Labs.
I've been out there.
All right, and ID Labs was pretty much the home base for that revolutionary wave we was talking about, the musicians in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That was ID Labs, and I was actually, thinking about it, Black Seas took me to ID Labs. We was working on a session, and he introduced me to E, who is the guy who runs ID Labs. and we just pretty much communed, man. It was like it was a vibe from the gate. He was, people of European descent that's in the hip hop is always the shit to me. You know what I mean?
Oh, they go hard for
They
that
go
shit.
hard, and he's one of those guys, man. That's just like, wow, he's kind of phenomenal with it, and we instantly bonded, made good music,
Right.
and I met Wiz there. Wiz was actually, signed to Rostrum early on back then,
Okay.
and it was like one of them things where he was always working, and that's what I noticed about the kid because we kind of come from two different worlds, but at the same time, we met musically there. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the kid. I said he got what it takes to really make it work. So we kind of met just on being fans of each other's music, man, and just kicking it in the studio. And eventually that came to collaborating and working together, and we've been family ever since.
It wouldn't be stepping out of boundaries that for me to ask you to explain to my viewers who've never visited Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
What Larimer Ave is and the significance of this neighborhood right here. Like, put some ID on it for me.
Well, Larimer is.
If you want to tell them, just go Google it. That's cool, but
that's not.
I
Really
want you
good,
to open that shit up.
Yeah, that ain't a good explanation because that don't get a community no just due. Because you look at the net and they pretty much give you what they want to tell you. So I can pretty much tell you from the experience that Larimer's a beautiful community. Of course, the people who grow up here, strong, they persevere, they go through the struggle, and most of them go on to become hope dealers.
No doubt.
But it's compelled by the circumstances of most communities that's below the poverty line. If you look around, you see the houses missing windows and shit boarded up next to people who living right there. But I think that when gang violence hit the city in the 90s, our community was really struck hard, you know what I'm saying? And it was interesting because it was like a blood and Crip thing, you know what I'm saying? Like most people wanted to be Crips. And this community kind of developed its own culture, its own gang. And it was something real interesting because a lot of it was just based on being strong, independent young men, not wanting to be followers, and those who came a generation before me really made a strong name for the community, man. And throughout the course of that, things happen as far as people making bad decisions.
Right.
Unfortunate circumstances come with that, and with that, it was a time when the government actually made our community public enemy number one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of the young people around here was hit with the RICO Act that wasn't RICO status.
They've been through here several times, right?
Yeah, but this one made it significant. The first one I say because it was a experiment. It was the first time they used the RICO Act with gang members.
Okay.
Not, you know what I mean? This is shit that they use with high
I knew
profile
there was some
criminals.
history to the Larimer Ave RICO case.
Yeah,
That's
so
why
that
I asked
RICO
you.
case is real famous in regards to how they was going to start breaking up petty gangs and making charges a little more strenuous for petty crimes. You know what I mean? So you got a lot of dudes from my community that might have did 20 years for a rock of cocaine, and they was the first ones from my city to experience that.
Right.
So that's a real testament to our struggle, and a lot of those dudes stood strong. Most of those dudes stood strong, and I think our community has gained a lot of reverence in the criminal world for that. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of stand-up guys that come from our community and have really made a sound name in the penitentiary because of that case. Right. So Larimer, for that reason, in my time, has become historic. And the generations who came kind of ran with that flame and took it to unprecedented levels. So, you got a lot of legendary hope dealers from this area, man. And, I say hope dealers because, they see the circumstances and want to associate us with the drugs and the murder. But a lot of the times, man, the people who's really making it happen ain't nowhere associated with that. You know what I'm saying? So, salute to everybody who fought the Larimer fight. You know what I mean? Respect.
Is this still a gang problem in the city?
No.
It's not like it was in
I
the
think
90s,
that-
right?
No, there's not an organized gang